Hello and welcome to Froch On Fighting. My name is Carl the Cobra Froch. I'm a former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. Okay, so let's get straight into it. It's been brought to my attention that Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith, which is kind of irrelevant, Frank Smith, his whole MO is to be Eddie Hearn, so he's going to back him anything he says, but they're annoyed, Eddie especially, at my recent opinions on Anthony Joshua and where he goes for the rest of his career. And he's pointed out a couple of things that are totally irrelevant, don't make any sense at all, and he's trying to compare, for example, his loss with Daniel Dubois, which was an El Sparco knockout, dropped in round one. I think he was on the floor 5 times, and then he was finished off bad in round 5. You've seen the fight. He got fucking ironed out. Bad. That was a bad loss, and maybe a career-ending loss. We've not seen him since. We don't know if he's going to come back. He's talking a good one. Well, Eddie's certainly talking a good one for him. But my opinion is Anthony Joshua's finished. There's nothing personal involved in this. I've said it before. I said on my last episode. AJ's been great for the sport of boxing. He's transcended it. He's brought it to a whole new audience. The armchair fan now enjoys boxing because of the lights of Anthony Joshua. But let's not forget, he followed on with the stadium fights after I led the way. 80,000 at Wembley. Carl Froch, George Groves, the rematch. That was the big one. That started the bull run for boxing. Eddie got his 5-year deal with Sky. Anthony Joshua was able to then go on and fight Klitschko. And in a great fight, back and forth fight, he climbed off the canvas, beat Klitschko in that epic night at Wembley Arena, Wembley Stadium, should I say, in front of, I think he had 79,000 there. It was a big crowd anyway. And that was probably AJ's biggest win. I've got nothing against him. He's had a fantastic career. What he's done for the sport is brilliant. But I'm just being honest, and it seems like we can't be honest anymore. It seems like we're not allowed to criticise Eddie's golden child, Eddie's cash cow, his golden goose, whatever you want to call it. Eddie needs to let go. He's talking about hanging on the coat strings, the coattails, and he's going to be with him to the end, and he'll be there till the day he dies and follow him to the end of his career. Well, listen, you're going to be, aren't you? Because you're making money from when he fights. But he's the one getting in the ring, taking punches on the chin. But Eddie is pissed off because I said that Fabio Wardley might just beat Anthony Joshua. Who knows? He's a big puncher. What I said was that Anthony Joshua would be terrified of Fabio Wardley's punching power. And I think that's a fair comment. AJ doesn't like getting hit on the chin anymore. He's got no confidence. When he's dancing around the ring, you can see he's just waiting. He's petrified to go for an attack unless it's 100% open for him. When he fought Otto Wallin, he waited and waited and waited. When Wallin got tired, he then pounced on him and put a couple of good shots together. All right, he put that single knockout shot against Francis Ngannou. That's where Eddie Hearn got really excited and said, he is the best heavyweight in the world right now. I mean, that was a ridiculous statement.
Because you're looking at the baddest man on the planet right there. You're looking at the #1 heavyweight in the world. Unquestionably. On this form, there is no man in the world that can beat him in the heavyweight division.
But let's rewind. He's scared to death of getting hit by powerful punches. And I don't blame him because when he gets hit on the chin, he goes over. We've seen it a few times. And his last fight against Daniel Dubois, he got absolutely fucking clattered, didn't he? He got tasered El Sparco. We saw the results. Dropped in round 1. I don't want to keep going on about it. Finished off in round 5. So for me to say that Fabio Wardley, who's knocked out every single one of his opponents, as I pointed out last week, all right, he's had a rematch with Fraser Clark, but he dropped him in round 1, finished him off, caved the side of his head in. So he's a big puncher. And Anthony Joshua doesn't like getting punched on the chin because he goes over. So for me to just say Fabio Wardley has got a chance against AJ, or AJ might be frightened to death of getting in with Fabio in a comparison with who he should fight next, that's my opinion. Are we not allowed an opinion anymore? Are we not allowed to give an honest, critical opinion on Anthony Joshua and what we think would happen if he fights X, Y, or Z? I just thought Fabio Wardley, being a massive puncher, actually he's got a chance against someone like AJ, who is now gun-shy. Obviously, AJ in his prime. AJ, when he climbed off the floor against an old man, Klitschko, but it was a good win. Jokes aside, that was a good win for him at Wembley Stadium that night. Then he went on to have a good career before he met Andy Ruiz and then Alexander Usyk. That version of AJ there, that beat Povetkin, for example, it'd be too much for Fabio Wardley. Way too much for him. And he'd outbox him, outskill him. He's Olympic champion, don't forget. AJ, he's got them skills, and Fabio Wardley's got no amateur pedigree. He's coming from the white-collar background. But to say that right now, after Anthony Joshua's been ironed out a few times, you've got to say that Fabio Wardley, with his punching power, would be a threat. And Anthony Joshua going into that fight, for me, wouldn't be that confident. But we're not allowed an opinion anymore. Frank Smith gets pissed off. Eddie Hearn's fuming, crying his eyes out, trying to compare my loss with Andre Ward with his loss against Daniel Dubois, which is pathetic, because when I lost to Andre Ward, I don't know if you check the history in the record books, but I lost a close points decision to arguably an all-time great. 115, 113 on 2 of the judges' scorecards. That's a close fight. And then I went on to beat Butte, beat Mack, and beat Groves in them 2 epic battles, with the last one finishing at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000. And then I went on to be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame because my career was that glossy. And I'm not bragging, I'm not showing off, but has Anthony Joshua had a Hall of Fame career? You know, when you're getting knocked out by Dubois, do you want to be rematching the same guy when that guy's 26, 27 years old now, getting better, growing in confidence? He's just about to fight Usyk again. Do you really want to be putting AJ in with Dubois for potentially another Shralikin? Well, I know what the answer to that is. You do. Eddie Hearn wants to see AJ in with Fury twice and then Dubois for the rematch. I think AJ needs to hang his gloves up. He's had a great career. His legacy will be bringing boxing back to the forefront, bringing boxing to the mainstream audience, which is great, but he's not had a Hall of Fame career in terms of who he's beat. And a lot of the heavyweights that are around now, they should think themselves lucky that Mike Tyson and the likes of George Foreman and Lennox Lewis, imagine that, Lennox Lewis not around in this era. This is an era, really, where these fighters have been quite fortunate. They've had great careers. I'm not picking holes in it or just giving them stick for the sake of giving it them. I'm just being realistic. And my opinion is that AJ's finished, and if Fabio Wardley clips him on the chin, he might just knock him out. And something else that Eddie Hearn said about Anthony Joshua, he said he's fought everyone. He's fought everyone. No, he hasn't. Let's not go into the Charles Martin fight for the IBF, whatever title that was, then onto the old man Klitschko, and then, you know, Povetkin, and when he got beat by Ruiz, and he's come back with Franklin, and he's for Otto Wallin and Hellenius and Ngannou. You're looking at these fighters that are doing him no favours, but he's not fought everyone. Listen, you should be making the fights with the likes of Tyson Fury. He didn't fight him. He's not fought him in his prime. I know you're beating the drum now, but it's too late. Deontay Wilder, the biggest puncher, the most feared man in boxing, in heavyweight boxing. Tyson Fury jumped in with him 3 times in that trilogy, epic battle, and that's kind of finished off Wilder because Wilder's done now. But there was a time when he could have fought Fury and he could have fought Deontay Wilder, and he didn't. You can't say he's fought everybody when, you know, for a fact, he hasn't. He's missed these big fighters in their prime when them fights were primed to be made. So when you say he's fought everybody, you're talking absolute bollocks. Something else Hearn was saying was, what would it be like now for me to be fighting in this current time, getting the stick that everyone gets from social media and from these YouTubers, which is myself, a YouTuber, the best channel in the business, Froch On Fighting. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. When I lost to Andre Ward, nobody gave me a chance against Lucian Butte. Nobody. All the commentators, all the ex-fighters and pundits. Remember Jim Watt just give me loads of stick? I don't think anybody thought I could win the Butte fight. And I got in there and absolutely smashed him to bits. I used it as fuel, all that nasty energy and all that negativity. I used it to get in there and do the business. So to say that I'd be around people's houses asking for straighteners if they criticise me, I've had all the criticism. The first fight with George Groves, when I got dropped in round 1 and then got my head caved in for 6 rounds, but still managed to win the fight, climbed off the canvas and won the fight. All right, controversial finish, but I got the job done in the rematch, didn't I, at Wembley Stadium in front of all them people. I got untold stick, non-stop abuse. It was blanket coverage in the newspapers for 2 or 3 weeks, how bad that fight was and how it was a robbery and how I'll lose the rematch and I need to retire. I've had my share of criticism, but you know what I do with that criticism? I take it, I bottle it up, and I use it as fucking fuel and energy to go in there and get the job done, because that's what champions do. That's what winners do. But you don't know anything about that, do you, Eddie? Because you sit on the ringside when the fighters get in the ring and take the punches on the chin. You don't take any punches. And I'm just pointing out that you are volunteering Anthony Joshua to fight Tyson Fury, not once but twice, and then jump in there again with Daniel Dubois, who just fucking hammered him, battered him. This is the hurt business. And Anthony Joshua's health is at stake here. And you're volunteering to push him in there with all these fights. I'm just saying, hang on a minute, just rein it back a little bit. Let's have a look at what AJ's done. He's kind of done everything he needs to do. He's had the world titles and won them all. Been knocked out a few times, which ain't ideal. But he's made the old bunts. He's made enough. He's not going to be able to spend the money if he gets a problem up here, if he gets badly injured. And we know how badly boxers can get injured. So let's not just keep pushing him forward. You've already said you want to hang off his coat strings, his coattails, and you're going to be there to the death. You're going to be there for him right until the end, right till the end of his career. Of course you are. You're getting fucking paid. Of course you're going to be there to the end. You can't argue with me about my comments with Anthony Joshua because mine come from a sincere place. Yours come from a business perspective, and that's the difference. And something else Eddie always tries to do to soften it, he says that we're part of the same team. Me, Rob McCracken, Anthony Joshua, putting himself in the mix as family. Let me tell you something. I've been with Rob McCracken since 2001. Started my professional boxing career right until when I retired in 2014. And I still talk to him every week right now. He's family. That's part of the team. You jumped on the team bandwagon when I was world champion. And you did what you did as a businessman, as a promoter. You took what you had to take, and then you was on to the next one. And that's fine. That's what you do. You're a promoter. But all this talk about we're family and we're on the same team, you know as well as I do, that's bollocks. And you'll do exactly the same with Anthony Joshua. It's nothing personal, no hard feelings. It's just business. The boxing promotion business is ruthless. Don't try and make out your friends and family. What you should be doing is talking Anthony Joshua out of fighting again. If he's telling you, I want to fight a few more times, like you keep telling everyone, he's got 2, 3, 4 more fights in him, you should maybe be trying to talk him out of it and just having a little word in his ear and saying, look, I think you've had a good run at it, but I think it's game over now. But you won't, will you? Because you're thinking about the old bunts. I'm just talking from a professional fighter's point of view. I don't think Anthony Joshua wants to be in there anymore. I know what it's like to be in that ring when you don't really want to be in there and you haven't maybe done the training. There's rumours around him not sparring properly and not taking the training seriously before his last couple of fights, and that's a bad sign, and that's a sign when you've got one eye on retirement. And I can see when he's in there, when he's in the ring and he's walking around, he's looking over at his opponent, he goes to the centre of the ring, talks to the referee, he's in his corner. He looks like he's lost. For me, he don't want to be in there. The eye of the tiger's gone. And you've seen the Rocky films, and I might be having a bit of a laugh now comparing it to a film, but when that eye of the tiger's gone, you've got to hang up the gloves. Right, that's it. I've pretty much addressed everything I want to with regards to Eddie Hearn and AJ and all the shenanigans. There's no real beef. It's quite comical, really. I find it quite funny how when somebody's got an opinion, it can cause such a big problem with certain people. But anyway, Eddie, you do interviews with everybody, all these YouTube channels. You're mad for it. You do 20 interviews a week, 20 interviews a day sometimes. Why don't you come on the best channel in the business, Froch On Fighting? I've invited you before, not heard back from your team, and I'm inviting you now. Come on the channel. We'll talk about it amicably, like men, like family and friends. Come on, pick your phone up if you're family. Answer the text messages if we're friends. Get it sent back and get on the channel. I'm going to be in Birmingham this week. I'm also in Saudi Arabia for the Canelo Crawford press conference. If you're out there, we can catch up. You let me know. This is an open invitation to come on the best channel in the business, Froch On Fighting. I won't hold my breath. So that's it for another episode of Froch On Fighting. I've addressed what I needed to address regarding this scenario with Eddie and AJ and all the nonsense that's going off. I shoot from the hip here on Froch On Fighting. I've got truth and integrity, and that's my MO. I like to shoot from the hip and tell it as it is and just try to be as honest as possible. And I think that's what's built the channel. That's why it keeps going. It keeps growing. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you disagree with me, just let me know, because I do read the comments. And that's actually talking about comments. That's what Eddie Hearn should do. Have a look at the interview you've done where you're ranting and spouting nonsense about me and AJ and all my comments, and have a look at what the people are saying. Listen to the voice of the people, and that will answer everything you need to know, because it's not in your favour, Eddie. Read down the comments on them interviews where you've talked bollocks about me, and that should tell you everything you need to know. I rest my case. See you next time, people. Enjoy.